What is going on, guys? Welcome to your 59th Java tutorial. And if you've been watching the last couple tutorials, then we pretty much learned all the really basic concepts of polymorphism and inheritance and stuff like that. So in this tutorial we're going to be putting all our knowledge to use and building a program that pretty much gets a class and puts objects in an array. And it sounds confusing, but you're gonna see what it is eventually. But before I get into programming, I want to show you guys that I got rid of all my other classes because I'm gonna need a better example, and I thought that this would clearly or better demonstrate. So I made a new dog class, and I made a new class called fish, and I made a new class called animal. And since dog is an animal and fish is an animal, then I had them both extends or inherit from the class animal. And I didn't want to do that just because it took time, but I pretty much just made these classes and I have nothing inside of them. So if you want to go ahead and do that, you can follow along with me. So then, here's a scenario. We made these three classes called dog, fish, and animal, and our boss comes in and he's like, alright, Bucky, I need you to program something for me. And I'm like, what is? He's like, I need you to make a new class called, we'll name it dog list or something like that, and in this class I want you to have an array that we can add dog objects. So like I said, an array can hold many things. It can hold numbers, it can hold strings, it can also hold objects, and this comes into use well, we're going to be finding out why a little later, but in this tutorial we're going to be building a new class and a new array to hold dog objects. Why? Because our boss told us to. So let's go ahead and do it. The first thing I want you to do is go ahead and under your package, under your source, right click it and click a new class. I know you probably can't see it, so I will move it down. Source, new. Wow, now you really can't see it. But anyways, if you click a new and class, you get this thing that pops up, and just go ahead and put dog list or something like that. And now let me move this back, so there we go. Now we have, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 classes, and we have this new dog list class. And in this class we're going to be building an array to hold objects from this dog class, and the fact that it extends animal is irrelevant for now. So we have this dog list class, and our boss wants us to build an array, so let's go ahead and do that first. Let's go ahead and make it private because no need to make it public. Dog, and we're putting dog, and we'll name the array the list. And we'll set this equal to new dog with a parameter of 5, or an array length of 5. And we put this dog and dog, even though we named the array the list, we put dog and dog right here because that is what objects it's going to be holding. It's going to be holding stuff from the dog class. So now that we have an array named main list, let's go ahead, and the only other thing we're going to need to work with our array is a counting variable. So let's go ahead and name private I equals 0. You can set equal to x if you feel more comfortable with that, but what's this error saying right here? Alright, we need an int. Private int I equals 0. So now we have an integer that's just a counting variable that's going to help us work with our array. So now let's go ahead and build a new method to add dog objects. So again, or not again, we need a method named public void. We'll name it add. You can name yours whatever you want. I'm just going to name it add because it makes sense. And as a parameter, whenever we call this, it's going to take a dog object, and we'll name it D for now. Short and sweet. And the first thing we want to do in this method is do an if statement. So let's go ahead and make if, and we'll put I, which is our counting variable that's 0 now, is less than the list dot length. And what this pretty much does is check if your array is full or not. So if I, the counting variable, is greater than 5, then your array is already full. So it would just, the method would run, but it wouldn't add another one to array because this can only take 5 elements. So if it were 7 and we tried to add one, then it wouldn't do anything. So if it is less than length, which means if it still has room in our array, what do we want to do? Well, the first thing that we want to do is put the list and I which would be 0 now, and we want to set it equal to D. So we're pretty much just going to loop through the array, and every time we call this method, add an object to that array element. Then just give us a little system out print line on screen, something that says like dog added at index space, and we'll put I right there. Come on, there we go. And we'll just, looks good right now. So now we have just a little something on our screen that we can see visually, because, you know, we want some feedback here. So next we'll just increment through I. So here's what this method is doing. It pretty much checks if your array is full or not. If not, it adds that object at that index, and then it says, just gives us a little message on the screen, and then it goes to the next counter so we don't keep adding it in the same index in our array. So now we built this class, just like our boss said, that has an array named a list, and it's going to loop through, and every time you call this method, it's going to add a new object to the array. So let's go ahead and do this in our main method. I named mine apples. I don't know why, but I did. So now let's go ahead and make a dog list object. So let's go ahead and put dog list. I'm gonna name my DLO. You can name your object anything you want, and then just put equals new dog list. So yours should look the exact same as mine, except if you didn't want to name it DLO, you don't gotta. So now we can go ahead and create a dog object, because I mean we need one as our parameter. So we create dog D, or if you don't have a dog class, then whatever you have, and we'll set it equal to new dog object, just like that. It doesn't take any parameters because it doesn't even have any constructors or anything. Now what we have to do is pretty much call the method in our dog list. So use that object DLO. Whoa, embarrassing. DLO, that's where I meant to type it, and we have a method called add in there. Remember, that's what our method was called, and it takes a parameter of an object, a dog object, and we have a dog object right here, dog D. So let's go ahead and put D as our parameter right there, and that's it pretty much. Just run this baby, click OK, and now if everything goes right, it should say dog added at index 0. And if we added another one, it would say dog added at index 1, and it would go 2, 3, 4, and it would go all the way, and that is because we set this equal to a length of 5, which means index 0, 1, 2, 3, and 4. So that's your real basic tutorial on our how to create an array to add objects into it. But then, what if our boss comes in and says, yeah, come in, boss. Hey Bucky, I got a little problem. What's that, boss? Alright, you know how I told you to create a dog list to hold dog elements? Or excuse me, dog objects? Well now, the people we're working for, they said, alright, I want it to hold fish elements too. So how are we going to fix this problem? Well, that is a problem for the next tutorial, and that's what we're going to be doing. And trust me, you don't just add another entire class called fish. What we're going to do is making this bigger and better, and you know, it's just going to be awesome, and you're going to learn a lot in the next tutorial. So thank you guys for watching. And another thing, my 500th video that I add, I have like 491. My 500th video is going to be the best video and the biggest surprise for you guys ever. So you do not want to miss this 500th video. It's probably being released this weekend, but it is going to be incredibly awesome, and trust me, you guys are definitely going to want to see it. So for now, thank you guys for watching. Don't forget to subscribe, and I'll see you next tutorial.